All right, we've made it to week 3. We finally get to actually meet in person this week, so I'm looking forward to that. I know up until now it seemed like a totally online class where you've just got to do everything from home, but it gets better. I like being able to meet in person a lot more. So let's go through the list of what we've got to do this week. First off, you do have a lecture that you need to watch this week is Chapter 2, which is on chemistry. I know that's different from what we've talked about so far in this class, and that sounds kind of strange that we've got a chemistry chapter in biology. But later on in the semester, we're going to talk about some chemical reactions and metabolism that happens in our body. So we do need to know kind of the basics of chemistry, and we're going to go ahead and do that this week in Chapter 2, all right? If that scares you, like if the word chemistry just kind of made you clench up a little bit, try not to be too intimidated. Before I started teaching here, I taught for 1 year in middle school, and it was the most miserable year of my life. But I taught biology and physics and chemistry. I taught them all. The chemistry that we're going to go through in this chapter is like less than the level that I taught in middle school. It's different than what we've talked about so far. So I'm not saying just skim over it and don't study and don't pay attention. I'm just saying don't be intimidated because it's pretty basic chemistry, and I'm going to present it like even if you don't know anything about this to try to present it so that you can learn it pretty easily. All right. So watch that sometime this week whenever you get a chance. And then the review quiz for Chapter 2 is going to be due next Sunday, January 31st, or the upcoming Sunday, January 31st. All right. Now, that's the last chapter that's going to be on your exam, which is next week. I'll talk more about that in a second. But after you watch Chapter 2, that's all the material that's going to be on your first exam. So Chapter 1, 15, 19, and 2, those 4 chapters are going to be on the first exam. So you can go ahead and start studying. Remember, if you go to the learning material and then click on Unit 1, down at the bottom of that folder, there's a study guide that you can use too. All right? Okay, lab. Let's talk about what we're going to do now that we finally actually get to meet. So first off, most of you signed up for which day you want to attend lab. Remember, we're splitting the class up. So Group A, you are going to come in on Tuesdays this semester. Group B, you're going to come in on Thursdays. I looked at the schedule, and I'm pretty sure every week from here on out, and except for like spring break, you're going to attend. We don't have any off weeks where you don't have to show up on campus. So just make sure you know which day you attend. You can either check the class discussion and see which day you signed up for. Few people didn't sign up for a day, so I had to send you a message and tell you which day you need to attend. So just make sure you know when you're coming, and if you've got any questions about that, let me know. All right. So a couple things about that. So we are going to attend. I had some people with some questions about when we show up. So when you signed up for this class, it said 8 to 10 or 8 to 10:45. We'll be done by 10 o'clock each day for our labs. All right. You need to come in through the the East Broad Street checkpoint. So the way you do that, if you've ever been on campus before, George Wallace Drive is the main road. There's a hill, and at the top of the hill is like Allen Hall, and most of the other classes are over there. Now, that side of the road is the Wallace Drive campus. We are opposite on the other side of the road on the East Broad campus, where the Joe Ford Center, and if you've ever been to the One Stop Center, we're the really big building that you have to pass by before you get to the One Stop Center. All right? So you need to drive at the bottom of that George Wallace Drive at that hill, turn at the intersection towards the One Stop Center, towards the East Broad campus. And then a couple hundred feet up, there's going to be a checkpoint where they're screening for temperature. So just a heads up, that line can back up, especially in the morning. Like already we've seen cars really backed up trying to go through there. And I'm thinking when the science classes start next week, it's probably going to back up even more than that. So just make sure you give yourself plenty of time to get here. Like I would leave at least 15 minutes early just to make sure that you can get through that checkpoint. I'll try to stall a little bit, but we need to get started as close to 8 o'clock as we can. All right. So you need to go through that checkpoint. They'll screen your temperature. They'll give you a wristband. You need to have your lab manual with you. So week 1, the very first week, you're going to be writing in the pages of your lab manual. You're going to rip those pages out, and you're going to turn them into me, and that's what I'm going to grade. So if you don't have your lab manual yet, you need to get that as soon as you get a chance. All right. The bookstore opens at 7:30, so like 30 minutes before class starts. Now, like I said, traffic backs up. So if at all possible, try to get your lab book before the day of class. But I'm just saying, worst case scenario, like there's no way you can get the lab book between now and then. leave really early, like 30 minutes early or so before class, and maybe you can pick it up and hopefully you'll be in the classroom in time. We are in room 238. So if you go to the Start Here tab up at the top, I've got like a quick video walkthrough that shows you how to get to the lab. I'll be in the hall trying to find everybody and making sure you get in the right spot too. All right. Still have to do the masks, so bring a mask with you. We'll have to have those at all times when we're in the classroom. We've been doing this for like a year now, so I know that we've probably got the hang of it, but we'll go over, have to have your air come through your nose too, so we have to keep that covered up and everything. And then there's a COVID waiver form that I mentioned a while back you need to bring with you. That's in the very top left of Blackboard. Print that off, sign it, and bring it with you. I will have a few extra if you don't have yours with you, but you do have to sign that to be on campus this semester. All right, I think that's got it. So Group A, you will be here on Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Group B, you'll be here on Thursdays. All right. Now the last thing is just a reminder that exam 1 is going to be next week. So even though we don't have a lab scheduled for next week, what you're going to do is if you're in Group A, you're going to show up on Tuesday and we're going to take the test in person. I'll tell you next week when we meet. I'll let you know which classroom and everything we need to meet in. But we'll be spread out and you're going to take the test in person. All right. Group B, you will come in on Thursdays and take the test in person. All right. So that's it. Just be studying for that. I mentioned that there's a study guide there already. What I would do, be thinking of any questions you have, like anything you're not really sure about or you're still confused on. Think of those questions, and when we meet next week for lab, I'll be able to help you out with that. All right? Thanks, and if you need anything, let me know.